Can you hear me? Where is Padme? Is she alright? Stupid. Alright, but no. What's up? We got another video. And it's about how one hack exposed 37 million cheating husbands. There are that many cheating husbands. How are there even that many like actual marriages? Because that makes sense. But hey, it's 2025, so hey, like the video, sub up, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my boy Visual Venture. I'm sure he's gonna ask it in the video, as he should, because it's a great channel. But let's get into it, okay? Let's watch.
I cheated on my husband to find companionship, to feel happy and alive again.
Story today in the world of the internet. Ashley Madison, which is a dating service for married people looking to have an affair. It was hacked today.
My dad reached a point of such hopelessness and despair.
Is this one of those vigilante criminals
based on keeping your information private is getting hacked? What happened here?
Robin Hood type thing.
Unlike fairy tales, not all
Vigilante
marriages
justice.
end in happily ever after. You've probably heard the saying that 50% of marriages end in divorce. But did you know that 60% of these divorces are because of infidelity? And if finding out your partner was a cheater wasn't bad enough, in 2015, millions of wives came face to face with this truth in the most public way possible, through a massive data leak by a secret team of vigilante hackers. This is the fall of Ashley Madison and how one hack exposed 37 million cheating husbands. What is Ashley Madison?
Crazy
Life
user
is
base.
short, have an affair. That is a slogan of the world's #1 married dating app. Founded in 2001
Crazy
by
user
Canadian
base.
entrepreneur Noel
37
Biederman,
million.
Ashley Madison is a dating platform meant for those looking to arrange affairs, aka cheat on their partner.
Isn't that like 1/10?
Caught up in your daily routine.
Am I tripping?
Ashley Madison, where the world explores affairs.
Ashley
Am I
Madison.
tripping? Isn't that like 1/10 of the U.S.? Or am I bugging? I gotta see this. How many people live in the U.S.? I thought it was like 300 something million. I think it was like 333 million or something. Let's see, U.S. population. Oh, but it's not just U.S. people. Yeah, it's 340 million as of 2024. Let's see. Was it 25? So yeah, 340 million people. And what'd she say? 37 million? What percentage is that? Is that like 1/10? Am I tripping? What percentage? Oops. Of 340 is 37. Yeah, it's 10%. I was right on the money. So that's like 1/10. That's literally 10% of people in the U.S. But that's not even the men. That's not even men. Hold on. Let's look at the stat for men. How many men in the U.S.? U.S. population? U.S. male population. 105. So it's like half, right? 167. So let's see. So this is gonna be like 20%. Then that's gonna be like 1 in 5. It's gonna be like 20%, 25% probably. 167. What? Okay, what percentage? What percentage of, was it 170 something? I said 167. %. That's crazy. 22? You're telling me 1 in 5, almost 1 in 4 men in the U.S. were on this site that are in marriage. That's not even counting the married men. Hold on, this could have been all the married men. What? What kind of statistic is that, bro? That's so crazy. Because this is just like I'm a man. Obviously, like, I don't count in this statistic because, like, I'm not in a marriage that I'm cheating in. So, like, 22%. How many married? Okay, U.S. married male population, I guess. It would be the same. It doesn't matter, married or married male population. How much is that? 30. That's like half. What? That's like half. That's so crazy. That's such a crazy statistic.
Madison markets itself as a place free of judgment for...
Okay. Had a little bit of a technical glitch. I had to run back the video, but let's do it.
Ashley Madison
OBS
markets
crashed.
itself as a place free of judgment for consenting adults looking to explore secret relationships. The site has had over 80 million signups since 2002, with an estimated 20,000 new members daily. The site doesn't only benefit the cheaters, though.
Man.
Ashley Madison's parent company, Ruby Life, has been making some serious money from this platform, because it turns out that capitalizing off of infidelity is actually a really successful business model. Although the company is currently called Ruby Life, it used to have a different name, Avid Life Media. Remember that name because we'll be getting back to that later. As of 2023, Ashley Madison is raking in $400,000 per every million users. And with 70 million users, that adds up to an annual revenue of $28 million, which makes Ashley Madison the 13th most profitable dating app in the world. The site makes most of its money from charging its male customers.
Is it men and women that can use Ashley Madison, or is it just men? Because like, if we're looking at
to access the main feature.
If we're looking at the numbers, right? Wait, let's see. Is Ashley Madison? I should probably not be searching this up. Ashley Madison. Only for men. Let's see. Is Ashley Madison only for men? Oh, okay. Fake female profits, okay. It's completely free for women. Men have limits on how they can interact. Okay. r/adultery, bruh. Come on, man.
Each message you receive on Ashley Madison is hidden behind a paywall. Users can only bypass this with pay-per-use credits or through a monthly subscription. To send or even just read messages, you need to pay a fee of 5 credits or prepay for an hour of live chatting for 50 credits. And the credits are not cheap. For $59, you can only get 100 credits, which means each message could cost about $10. You can also use credits to add features like boosting your profile in search rankings or sending virtual gifts. Why are people willing to pay this much for a dating website? The main reason, anonymity. Cheaters don't want to get caught. That's why they appreciate Ashley Madison's many anonymous features and don't mind spending a bit of cash for them. Users are given the option to have anonymous profiles filled with fake user information to make sure that no one knows their true identity. There's even a full delete button which charges users a $19 fee. After paying, all of their private information is completely deleted from the website and its databases. That way, no one can trace them back to the site and their marriages can remain safe. But if cheating isn't your thing, Ashley Madison's parent company, Ruby Life, still has got you covered, because there are plenty of other dating websites in their portfolio that's meant to satisfy other dating fantasies, and they aren't any better. Avid Life Media, the empire built on deception. Before becoming Ruby Life, the company was known as Avid Life Media, a name that frequently made headlines for its controversial websites. So in order to understand why Avid Life Media was an attractive target for hackers, we need to look into how these scandalous websites function. If there was one thing Avid Life Media knew how to do, it was to sell you a lifestyle. And what better way to do that than to give you the perfect ideal woman you're looking for on these websites?
Why she have a gas
Instead of simply
mask
running
on?
ads to entice you, Avid Life Media took it one step further. They made these ads the faces of the company. Avid Life Media hired models to pretend to be top-level executives of these dating sites. They even created backstories to try and get more customers. These women would make several media appearances talking about how they built the businesses from the ground up.
Just capping.
Boys. It's easy to date a woman like me.
Claudia Optenheld was one of these women. Posing as a CEO, she made several appearances on national TV talking about her dating platform, Cougar Life. Claudia was personable, well-liked, and was every man's dream. But what they didn't know was that this was all a fantasy. And this questionable marketing strategy wasn't just aimed at men. They had another tactic to target women. In 2013, Avid Life Media was getting attention for all the wrong reasons. And it wasn't just one dating site that drew criticism. They had 2. Combine these two sites with the Ashley Madison website, and you've got a trio package of questionable dating sites. So how did two scandalous sites put Avid Life Media in the hot seat? The dating site Arrangement Finders was targeted toward female university students and younger adult women. They launched billboards that featured pictures of known stars paired with suggestive text. So if the primary users were young women, who were the people trying to connect with them? Arrangement Finders made it extremely clear who they were after because many of these ads were strategically placed near popular family attractions. You can pretty much guess what they were getting at. Girls on the site would get paid by men to go out on dates with them. These relationships were purely transactional, which meant that they usually towed the line between legal and illegal. Shortly after this controversy, Arrangement Finders shut down and their ads were taken down a week later. Just like Arrangement Finders, which was aimed at women, the second site was meant to target men. Established men, aimed to connect beautiful women with interesting men. Both sites seemed to target vulnerable women in financial need, and people were not happy with these two sites. These websites were fine on paper, and there was no concrete evidence of illegal activity happening. It seemed like Avid Life Media cracked the code on monetizing even the worst kinds of dating. But just because they couldn't be taken down legally doesn't mean they couldn't be taken down.
I don't have any problem
Avid
with
Life Media found itself targeted by people willing to take matters into their own hands. They weren't playing by the rules. The hack. While Ashley Madison shows how far people will go for secret pleasure, real happiness isn't about secret desires. It's about living openly and healthy. And what better way to start than by focusing on what you put into your body? So I read this book called How Not to Die, and it made me realize that what we eat is way more crucial than you think. But eating healthy clearly is.
Young Factor, let's go.
15 things that were looking good for Avid Life Media. With over 30 million registered users on Ashley Madison, it was the leading married dating website. The site had grossed 115 million the year before, and the CEO, Noel Biederman, was taking home more than $5 million a year. With all these impressive numbers, there's no denying it. Cheating really did pay. With summer around the corner, it seemed like nothing could get in the way of Ashley Madison's growth. The warmer months meant summer flings, and no one benefited more from a casual hookup than they did. And although things would heat up, it wouldn't be in the way that anyone expected, because Ashley Madison would soon come face to face with its greatest fear.
This hack has a lot of people sweating it out right now. We mentioned it earlier. Cheating site Ashley Madison was hacked by a group calling itself the Impact Team.
In July of 2015, the media was on fire after a mysterious message showed up on the dark web. A group of anonymous hackers by the name of the Impact Team issued a cryptic warning to Avid Life Media. In the statement, the hackers addressed Ashley Madison's executives by name, welcoming them to their worst nightmare. They called out the company for its lack of protection of personal user information. Then they told the public how they had hacked into the systems of not just Ashley Madison, but all the dating sites associated with their parent company, Avid Life Media. The hackers also exposed Ashley Madison for allegedly scamming its users with features like the full delete button, calling it a complete lie. Because after breaching the system, they were able to see the database of all the deleted user records. The message was a threat. In the message, the hackers stated that if Avid Life Media did not shut down Ashley Madison and their other site established men, the hackers would release the data of every single user. The end of the message name dropped all of the key players at Avid Life Media.
Oh, because they refused and so they leaked it. Makes sense.
What's it going to be? As expected, millions of people were in a complete frenzy after this news broke. This wasn't just a risk to Avid Life Media. It was a risk to any cheating person who had ever signed up to one of these sites. If this data were to get out, it wouldn't just be the end of Ashley Madison. It would be the end of millions of marriages. As the days passed, more and more people began to panic. It wasn't like this was some sort of baseless, empty threat. The Impact Team had been slowly releasing bits and pieces of user information to pile on the pressure. But it wasn't just Avid Life Media that felt the stress. It was their customers. Reddit forums blew up. News outlets used it as their top story. It even became a hot topic for late-night talk show hosts. But for some reason, Avid Life Media wasn't taking any action. It seemed like while the whole world couldn't stop talking about the Impact Team, Avid Life Media remained silent. Aside from a statement they made on the morning of the attack, nothing else was done. I mean, if your business was making you millions of dollars a year, why would you want to shut it down? Avid Life Media sure didn't. So instead of following the Impact Team's orders, they kept their sites up and running, which was their biggest mistake.
agree.
30 days later, nothing had changed. Maybe they thought the hackers were just making empty threats, or maybe they just didn't want to lose money. Either way, they ignored the warning from the impact
Probably
team.
both. It was
Ashley
probably the
Madison,
Titanic
an
type
established man,
thing.
remained
Don't
online
worry about
and
it.
business as usual.
We're
On August
fine.
18th, 2015, the impact team fulfilled their promise.
But I'm glad.
The private data of over
Let's
37
go.
million
Leak them.
users was released to the public
Hopefully
via
they
the
didn't-
dark web. 32
Hopefully-
million
the dark
names
web?
were
Okay,
plastered
never mind.
all
That's
over
not
the
good.
internet. All of these names
That
came
is
with
not good.
addresses, phone numbers, transaction histories, and
That's
email
not good.
addresses all taken
That's
from
not
their Ashley
good.
Madison
Okay, doxing is
profiles.
too much.
A whopping
That
amount
doc-
of
that
10
level of
gigabytes
doxing is too
data
much.
were exposed for the public to see. But there were more surprises in store when the information was released. Around 15,000 of the
was not
exposed
good.
email addresses were .gov or .mil, which meant that they belonged to government or military personnel. Along with user information, the impact team hackers also leaked documents, email chains, and other private information of Ashley Madison CEO Noel Biederman. And the icing on the cake? The impact team left one final gift, a message titled "Time's Up," meant for the team at Avid Life Media and users of Ashley Madison. Immediately, the internet began picking apart every detail of these messages. The impact team had practically just told the world that everything Avid Life Media had been telling its customers was a lie. Even if you put the hack aside, some of the claims in these letters were highly concerning. Ashley Madison is a site that profits off the promise of protecting the personal data of its users. But were they really
And it
protecting
didn't do that
user
at
data?
all.
The site was running something
Absolutely
called the
not.
delete feature, where you pay a certain fee and then the site promises to
That man
obviously
just
delete
sat
all
there
of your
capping,
information,
bro.
because of course it's quite a sensitive site. They claim that this wasn't happening, and they
Maybe
found
he doesn't
evidence
know,
of
though,
this,
that it's a lie.
in the
I don't know.
data, and they
Can't
released
really
it
judge
to
him
sort of
right
vindicate these
now.
customers.
In their initial warning, the impact team pointed to the full delete
What did you
feature
say?
as an example to expose Avid Life Media's deceptive
Wait,
practices.
what was the last thing you
Full
said?
delete.
Sort of vindicate these customers.
In their initial warning, the impact team pointed to the full delete feature as an example to expose Avid Life Media's deceptive practices. The hackers claimed that this particular feature had earned the company $1.7 million in revenue at the time of the data breach, all while allegedly being a complete lie. This
It
feature
was
costs
cap.
$19 per use, but despite promises made to customers, their data wasn't actually deleted from the site even
Cap.
after they paid. Their credit card information remained stored in the transaction history, and the purchase details were not removed as promised. That means that usernames and addresses remained on record, which made the delete button entirely useless. And people
Useless.
only found this
Wow.
out because of the impact team's hack. Many customers who had paid for the full delete feature were shocked to find their personal information still
This-
in the leaked database. There was so much backlash that
This
Avid Life Media
website,
was
man.
dragged into several lawsuits. One
Yeah.
unnamed woman was so outraged to find that her personal
Yeah, y'all gotta
information
give
was
all that
exposed
back.
that she sought out more than $5 million in damages.
Y'all gotta give
As
all
more
that
evidence
money
was
back,
gathered
bro.
to validate the impact team's
Y'all gotta give
claims,
that
it was
back.
getting harder to deny that Ashley
Granted,
Madison
like-
was a fraud. And if that wasn't enough to ruin their credibility, there was more. In the impact team's Time's Up message, they
Not like I'm
provided a key
defending the people
statistic
that are
that
doing
stunned
this stuff,
everyone.
using the
See,
site,
Ashley
because, like,
Madison
they're
fake
not in the
profile
right
lawsuit.
at all.
90 to 95% of actual users are male. The belief that Ashley Madison created fake female profiles wasn't new. Since the site's creation, people have questioned whether or not it actually had as many women as they advertised. But it wasn't until the impact team released their statement that people actually started to do some digging. In 2012, Ashley Madison found
actually
itself
meeting
in the
up
middle
on
of a lawsuit with former employee Doriana Silva. The employee claimed that she suffered
Doriana.
injuries as a result of tasks that she had to do on the job. You might be thinking, maybe
What?
she fell
What was
off
she
a
doing?
ladder or tripped on a wire or something.
got beat?
Well, Doriana claimed that she was forced to make 1,000 fake female profiles within a matter of weeks when the site was launching its Portuguese version. She was seeking $20 million in damages because this resulted in forearm and wrist injuries. Ashley Madison then countersued for $100,000, claiming that Doriana kept confidential documents even after leaving her job. The lawsuits were thrown out, but this added more evidence to the impact team's claims. After the data leak confirmed that the statistic was true, multiple class action lawsuits were filed against Ashley Madison. The lawsuit accused
Get
the
'em.
site of using fembots to
Get
attract
'em.
paying male customers, arguing that this made them victims of fraud. The released information
Yeah,
revealed
it
that
does.
the hackers say
They
90
kinda
to
revealed them.
95% of female profiles on the
They should've
site
been
are
on there in
fake.
the first place.
Investigative
What's up?
journalists also joined in on the search for the truth. After pouring countless hours into researching the data, they found concrete proof that there were virtually no women on the site.
In the database that was
Whoa.
released, the website had 31 million men and 5.5 million women, which is a ratio of about 5 to 1. But Newitz discovered that of those 5.5 million women, only 1,492 ever looked at a single message in their inbox, ever, compared to more than 20 million men who had looked at their inboxes. That means of all of the active users on the website, 0.01%, actually less than 0.01% of those users were women.
After this news spread, Avid Life Media claimed that this wasn't their fault, but rather that third parties had maliciously misused their site. It turns out that Ashley Madison has a reputation for attracting a range of external scams. Many have used Ashley Madison as a means for catfishing, blackmail, or phishing scams targeted at its users. Since a majority of Ashley Madison profiles are meant to have minimal personal information, it makes it a much easier platform to disguise yourself as someone else. But let's not forget the company itself has been caught creating thousands of fake profiles. Sure, they have a point about third-party interference, but most of these fake female profiles were still made by the company. How do we know this? Well, IP addresses were analyzed to reveal the location of where these accounts were last used. The key findings were that a staggering 80,805 profiles linked back to one specific IP address. Which one? The Ashley Madison offices. All signs were pointing to one thing. Ashley Madison had practically no female users. The Impact team had blown the roof off of Ashley Madison's entire operation. The big question
how's
is
it still up today?
Off of Ashley Madison had practically
I'm pretty sure it's
Madison
still up.
offices. All signs were pointing to one thing. Ashley Madison had practically no and 5 to use. The key findings were that a staggering 80,805 profiles linked back to one specific IP address.
Oh, that's crazy.
All signs were pointing to one thing. Ashley Madison had practically no female users. The Impact team had blown the roof off of Ashley Madison's entire operation. The big question is, who really is the Impact team? Vigilantes or villains? Now, what would you even classify the Impact team as? Villains, heroes,
honestly,
vigilantes? Nothing else was known about them besides what they told us in their letters. So no one knew.
I'm gonna say this, to me, like, obviously it's not a good site, right? Obviously the site is doing some pretty bad stuff, and I'm glad that they exposed a lot of that, but also exposing the people who were on the site who may have, like, had actual, like, you know, their actual families and stuff that were living at the addresses that were doxxed is dangerous. And, like, their credit card information and all that, all their information to get, like, stolen on the dark web and used for scams and stuff like that isn't only targeting the actual men that were cheating themselves, but the families that they were cheating on. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they're not even, like, they're not either, in my eyes. Yes, some good came out of it, but it's counteracted by, like, the potential backlash of the negative stuff that they did. That's how I see it. So they're kind of
for sure. But it seemed obvious that their morals pushed them to do what they did. We are dedicated, focused, skilled, and we're never going away. If you profit off the pain of others, whatever it takes, we will completely own you. Judging by their words, they seem to be expert hackers aiming to deliver their own version of justice. Even though we don't know anything more personal about them, they did do an interview through email about the hack. During this interview, they were asked about what the process was like hacking into Avid Life Media.
That affects their families,
answers
not
were pretty
just them.
surprising and only ended up making Ashley Madison's customers even more upset. The Impact team said that they worked hard to make a fully undetectable attack, only to get into the system and find nothing to bypass. When the interviewer asked about the state of Avid Life Media's security, her answer started with just one word: bad. The hackers exposed that the company's security was weak, basically just dividing their network into smaller parts. This simple setup was far from effective at keeping out unauthorized users. According to the hackers, using just a basic VPN was enough to gain access to all the servers. For a company that says it cares about keeping its users' information private, this weak security system made Ashley Madison users even more mad. They had been paying all of this money to use a site they assumed would keep their private information safe. Not only did that not happen, but the company didn't even have the right system in place to protect it. The Impact team claimed that Avid Life Media makes around $100 million in fraudulent dollars a year, and that the website became became a breeding ground for illegal activity. It turns out the hackers have been watching it all go down for years. The Impact team finally felt that it was time to make a move and shut the site down. They also addressed the elephant in the room. Who was the true blackmailer in the situation? Their answer? We didn't blackmail users. Avid Life Media blackmailed them. Through this interview, it seemed clear that the Impact team hacked Ashley Madison because they felt it was necessary. It seemed like the 37 million users were just caught in the middle while the Impact team was trying to bring down Avid Life Media. The hacker group ended the interview by answering one final question. Will the Impact team be hacking any other sites in the future? Not just sites, any companies that make hundreds of millions profiting off the pain of others' secrets and lies. To this day, no one truly knows who the Impact team is. But one thing's clear, they exposed Avid Life Media. So that leaves us with one big question. What happened to the husbands who had their information leaked? The shattered marriages. With so much media coverage and a couple of famous people on the list, word spread like wildfire about the leak. It didn't take long for one secret Ashley Madison users to face consequences not just from their partners, but also from their friends, families, and coworkers. The Impact team left the cheaters one final message. It was ALM that failed you and lied to you. Prosecute them and claim damages, then move on with your life. Learn your lesson and make amends. Embarrassing now, but you'll get over it. But unfortunately for some, the consequences of their new reality became too much to handle, and they never got over it. Millions of guilty husbands were trying to salvage their marriages, with websites like CheckAshleyMadison.com giving wives easy access to the leaked data. These secret relationships weren't so secret anymore. But while most men attempted to fix their mistakes, others simply couldn't.
More fallout tonight from that hack of the cheating website, Ashley Madison.
The unfortunate passing of some men seemed to happen after the Ashley Madison hack. And other Ashley Madison users became victims of even more internet blackmail, with their contact information available for anyone to see. Scammers saw an opportunity. The scammers aimed to blackmail the husbands for money, usually in the form of Bitcoin, by saying they would reveal their affairs to their families. Like most internet schemes, many of these emails sat in the inbox ignored. However, these scammers weren't playing around. If they weren't given their $2,500 ransom, they would send personalized letters to the wives informing them of their husband's spot in the Ashley Madison user database. It wasn't just cheating husbands who got messages like these. Small businesses also got emails from people claiming to be hackers. These emails said that they would release private information from their websites unless they got paid. For better or for worse, the identities of these cheaters were out there, and the reactions were definitely mixed. Some sympathized with the husbands, arguing that their private data was exposed because of the carelessness of a company that they thought they could trust. Others felt that what happened was completely justified and that cheaters deserve no sympathy. But regardless of what side you're on, one thing's for sure. The Impact team lived up to their name. They made a lasting impact that won't be forgotten. The story of Ashley Madison is a reminder to be careful who you give your data to. And also, the obvious lesson, don't cheat. My friends, be careful online because it only takes one click to change your life forever. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, click this playlist right here to watch more dark internet documentaries because the algorithm will promote my channel more if you guys watch multiple videos. Have a very, very wonderful week. Peace.
I didn't expect that I didn't expect this, that video to hit like that. That was crazy. But, hey, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know if you like it. Leave a like. Comment down below, you know, drop a subscribe too because we're gonna be posting some more. Let's go sub to Visual Venture, and that's gonna be it for me. I'll catch you guys later. That was a good one. Might do another one, but I need to clear some of these out. So bye.